This time on Krafted, Nick Muir drops in to tell us about a remix he's done for the label and to talk about his top 3 tracks from last year. But first, we introduce Lorraine Roar from Spain, who recently played back-to-back with Krafted's Paul Sawyer on our monthly live stream from Goatshed. We began by asking Lorraine about her highlight from 2018.
Definitely playing for the first time in Berlin. You know, it's a great city. And it was really special for me because it was my birthday and some friends came from Spain to see me there. And yeah, I will always remember it. And also releasing my last EP, Sunrise, that was really, really good as well.
What were your 3 favourite tracks from last year?
Wow, that question is really difficult because I listened a lot of good music last year. But okay, I will say 3. So one, Strand by Stefan Boutsin. I really love that one. I like as well Ruins, the Marino Canal remix. And one song that is called Hermes by Paul Sawyer. I think it's really, really good.
What have you got planned for this year?
Okay, I'm looking forward to keep working hard like I did last year and play again in Madrid because it's my hometown and in London. This will be happen probably in March. I will let you know the dates when I know it. And releasing some tracks that I have been working on. 3 of them are remixes. One of them it will come out in a couple of weeks. More tracks that I have been working on my own.
Longtime friend of Krafted, Nick Muir, recently dropped by for a chat. We began by getting him to pick 3 tracks from his 2018 record box.
I had Monkey Safari Accelerator on the list straight away because, I don't know, I just couldn't stop playing that track because I knew that it just hit all the right buttons when I was standing up there hoping to entertain the people in front of me. Just did it every time. Another one I chose was our remix. John Digweed and I did a remix of a track by Luke Brancaccio and Simon Berry. The track was Close Your Eyes, which is based around an old sample from Jim Morrison of The Doors, which they got redone. And we did a version of it which we were trying to get that kind of 90s sort of big beat type indie house vibe, Underworld, Chemical Brothers, which is kind of our roots. We love that type of music. And the other track which was really working for me was a track called Stutter Out, which is by a chap called Julian Hess. And that was one of those records. I'm always looking for tracks which might provide me with a moment in the set. And I tend to take a track which I think has that potential and do an edit on it, which is what I did with this track. It had the breakdown, which sounded great, but I just went in there and exaggerated it, made it an outsized breakdown, built it right up. And when it kicks back into the groove, then you get that reaction from people because you've managed to build up the tension in the room, intensify things. And it's just such a great track anyway, so I did my tweaks to it. And that was another one of those tracks that it's just too tempting to play it because you just know it's going to work every time.
You've recently remixed a forthcoming release on Krafted Underground. How did that come about?
Paul Sawyer of Krafted sent me a track called Free Inside, and it's a vocal track, and I listened to it, and it was one of those tracks that you thought had potential, sounded really great, a lot of work had gone into it, really liked the vocal, musicality was outstanding, production amazing, but I thought I might be able to contribute a different take on it, a different reading, because I like the vocal, but I thought I would like to have something which had a bit more of a slightly different vibe for the dance floor, so that I could play it in the middle of a set. It sounded again like one of those tracks you might play towards the end of a set, but I wanted something that would I wanted a version of it that I could play in the middle of a set, and so I set about doing that.
Tell us about your trip to Lahore last year.
Well, in November, went over to Pakistan. I was there in 2017 for a festival which I was due to play at 2 o'clock in the morning, and at midnight the festival got pulled. The government, there were so many people outside that the government got involved, and they decided that they didn't like that many people milling about outside in Lahore. So they pulled it, and that was a real disappointment to me. So when I got the opportunity to go back there in November, I grabbed it with both hands and had a remarkable week. The guys wanted to do a festival which they were calling Lost Path, and it was in the canyons, which are about 3 hours drive outside of Lahore. Just incredible setting. And they actually made a road with flattened all the trails so that people could drive up there, and then they got designers to put various stages in, built them into the canyons themselves. It was absolutely amazing setting. So we got over there, spent a couple of days in Islamabad, and then on the Friday we heard that the permissions hadn't been granted, and there were expected to be street protests about the political situation there on the Saturday. So they decided to pull it, which was devastating for them and also for us. But they said, okay, look, we're going to try and do it the following weekend. But that meant me staying a week in Lahore with the guys, which was quite an experience. If you ever get the chance to go to Lahore, I really recommend it. It's a remarkable place, the old town there. I had dinner with some people in the old town, and it was just an amazing atmosphere. Everything you'd expect and more. Brilliant food. The people are absolutely lovely, and they really, really get the music. They love their progressive house. Absolutely love it. And there's some great DJs there, great producers. It's a real education going there, and completely changed my mind about that part of the world. Anyway, I stayed there, and the following week the party still didn't happen because the situation is so difficult for them to get all their ducks in a row as far as the permission's concerned. But we ended up playing a party in a farmhouse out of Lahore, about half an hour's drive, and we had a fantastic night. I really felt as if I'd connected with the guys over there, and it's an experience I'll never forget.
That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, stay in touch with all things Krafted via krafted.co.uk. We'll see you next time.